Hi, Elena Harvey Collins here from Art Space Gallery at Fresno City College. I'm going to talk you through our current exhibition by Fresno City College sculpture professor and interdisciplinary artist Caleb Duarte. I'm going to introduce the show, which is titled Chucheria. The other voice you will hear in this video is Caleb Duarte, who will go more in depth into some of the intention and ideas behind his work. Caleb Duarte works in public sculpture, performance, and painting. He uses really ordinary construction materials like drywall, plaster, lumber, cement, and even packed earth to create these temporary structures or shelters. And these structures often become sites for performances that Duarte organizes with different communities in collaboration with them. And most recently, he's worked with unaccompanied minors at the Mexico-Guatemala border. Caleb Duarte's work is in conversation with many different strands of political activism and art history. But I think most importantly, it's about collective creativity. He's influenced by the Theatre of the Oppressed, a theatrical form created by theorist Augusto Boal, in which participants act out solutions to real-world problems, by the community-based solutions of the Black Panther Party in the United States, and by the life and art practices of autonomous indigenous Zapatista communities in Chiapas, Mexico, where he lived and worked for several years. In the performances and sculptures that Duarte organizes that happen outside of an art world context, what is being prioritized is the feeling or experience of the performance on the performer and participant, rather than the experience of the audience or spectator. And a key question in his work is what's lost, gained, or transformed in the process of translating this work for a gallery or museum audience. Another important idea in Duarte's work is that of the ready-made. Ready-mades are ordinary, often mass-produced objects that become art objects when the context they are viewed or experienced in is changed. For example, the construction materials that Duarte works with are ready-mades. So in Chucheria, which is loosely translated as a thing of little value, Duarte uses these materials to construct a spatial intervention in the gallery. So you walk into the gallery and immediately you're kind of confronted with this large hanging structure which is suspended above the floor. Inside this space, within the gallery space, the lights are throwing shadows onto the walls outside, and inside is really quiet and atmospheric. And in the middle of that space, almost like an altar, is this large white sculpture in the form of a raft. Duarte has included a large painting on drywall, which is a riff on a work by Mark Rothko, the 20th century artist known for painting vibrating, vibrant fields of colour, which are described as accessing a transcendent, if unknowable, spiritual force. But in this version, Duarte has very playfully substituted the plaster for paint and drywall for canvas. So this kind of ethereal, vibrating, colour-filled painting has really been brought into the here and now.
Well, there's something beautiful about the shape of the raft that we were using, that is used to cross the Guatemala-Mexico border. And I suppose that the purpose of the gallery or the existence of the museum was to separate the actual experience from its original source. And so I think that's what we do as artists. We divorce materials, images, sounds, objects from its original source in order to look at it through a new lens. And so by using drywall and plaster and construction materials to recreate this raft, it brings in its own history of drywall and construction, and even just the purity of whiteness, of white walls, of the buffing of the drywall, to create this illusion of progress and prosperity and success that has been promoted, of American exceptionalism, manifest destiny, even white supremacy. And so by using these materials to create this raft, it's kind of a juxtaposition to these concepts, these ideas of happiness. And then looking a little bit further, we realize that these materials are fragile, are dust. These houses that are constructed in the suburbs are actually very fragile material, from the flooring to the roofing, even to the paintings that hang on the walls. And so I think creating this raft made out of drywall, I think it might make might land to an emotional response, an emotional tone of maybe heartbreak, of maybe coming to the realization that the systems that we are loyal to may be false. This could be capitalism, this could be a deep religious belief, or even nationalism, the idea of cultural superiority. And I think by divorcing the actual materials like fences and dirt and stud beams and drywall from its original source, which is a construction site, and putting it into a gallery, I think it lends to that self-reflection. And so I'm both critiquing and admiring the potential of a gallery space compared to the performances that we did out in refugee centers in southern Mexico. And these performances are part of a larger project called Walking the Beast, that works alongside Central American asylum seekers to create sculptural interventions that address issues of global migration, family separation, U.S. imperialism and involvement in Central America, and the results of that alongside indigenous resistance. And so our bodies become hyperly visible and disguise of commercial products, to be able to move about in the world with more validation of the brown body.